So Mrs. Turner walks into class Monday morning holding a stack of papers, and the second I see that stack, I already know something is up. She starts handing them out, and at the top it says, in giant letters, Annual School Talent Show Sign-Up Sheet. And immediately the entire class goes into two categories. Half the kids look excited, already whispering about what act they're going to do. The other half, myself included, look like we just got handed a summons to court. See, here's the thing about me in stages. I do not do stages. I once froze up during a 2-line part in a first grade play about vegetables, where all I had to say was carrot. And I just stood there, completely silent, staring at the audience like a deer caught in headlights, while the whole cafeteria waited for me to remember I was, in fact, a carrot. My mom still brings that up at family dinners. It has been 4 years. I have not been allowed to forget it. So naturally, my plan for the talent show is simple. Do not sign up. Blend in. Watch from the audience like a normal, sensible person. Easy plan. Foolproof plan. Except, guess who apparently loves chaos more than as a friend. And dude, you should totally do something, right? And I go, funny in regular life, yes. Funny on a stage of the entire school, absolutely not. That's a whole different skill. But Marcus is not letting this go, and before I can stop him, he actually grabs the sign-up sheet and writes my name down. Just like that. No permission, no warning. My name right there next to a blank slot for act description. I am, understandably, panicking. I go, Marcus, what did you just do? And he goes completely calm, like this is a totally normal thing to do to a friend. Now you have to figure out what your act is. I try to cross my name off, but Mrs. Turner already collected the sheet, and apparently once your name is on the list, backing out requires a conversation with your parents, which sounds way scarier than any talent show could ever be. So now I'm stuck. I have to actually come up with an act, and I have exactly 1 week to figure it out. This is worse than the math test situation. At least with the math test, I only had 12 hours of panic. Now I've got a whole week to dread this. I spend the first few days trying to figure out what my talent even is. I tried singing in my room, and my little sister walked past my door and yelled, "Please stop," without even looking in, which, fair, honestly. I tried juggling with some tennis balls I found in the garage, and I ended up knocking over a lamp and nearly hitting our dog, who has not trusted me since. I even tried telling jokes into my mirror, but somehow they all sounded way funnier in my head than they did coming out of my mouth. Marcus, meanwhile, is having the time of his life watching all of this unfold, offering helpful suggestions like, what if you just told the chicken password on stage? That'd be hilarious. I told him that's in fact top secret club information and absolutely not something I would be revealing to the entire school gymnasium. Eventually, I land on an idea. Divin from the chicken club mentions that he's seen me draw before, and he goes, "Dude, you're actually really good at drawing. What if you did some kind of live drawing thing?" And honestly, that felt like the first idea all week that didn't make me want to disappear. Drawing, I can do. Drawing doesn't require me to sing, dance, or say, "I am a carrot in front of 300 people." So, my plan becomes this. I'm going to do a live speed drawing on a big poster board, drawing something silly based on random suggestions from the audience, kind of like an improv art thing. Low pressure, kind of funny, and most importantly, does not involve me talking very much, which honestly sounds like a dream come true. I practice for the rest of the week, getting faster and faster at sketching random stuff. From dogs wearing hats to, obviously, several more chicken variations. Because apparently I cannot escape the chicken theme, no matter how hard I try at this point. By Friday, the day of the actual show, I'm feeling somewhat confident. Not I am a carrot level nervous, but still definitely nervous. We all get herded into the gym, and it is packed. I'm talking parents, teachers, every single grade in the school crammed into folding chairs, and a giant stage with actual stage lights, which somehow makes everything feel 10 times scarier than I expected. Backstage, I can see other kids doing last-minute warm-ups. Someone's doing vocal exercises that honestly sound kind of terrifying. Another kid is stretching like he's about to run a marathon instead of do a dance routine. Marcus finds me backstage and goes, "You're gonna crush it. Just don't freeze up like Carrot Year." Which, thanks for the reminder, Marcus. Very comforting, very supportive friend behavior. Finally, they call my name, and I walk out onto that stage with my giant poster board and marker, and the lights hit me, and for one horrifying second, I flash back to being frozen carrot in front of the entire cafeteria. My hands start shaking a little, but then I look out into the crowd, and I see Marcus giving me a thumbs up, and Devin and the rest of the chicken club doing the secret handshake motion from the front row, flapping their arms like maniacs, and something about that ridiculous chicken flapping in the middle of a serious talent show just makes me laugh. And suddenly I'm not as nervous anymore. I ask the audience to shout out a random animal and a random object, and someone yells penguin, and someone else yells skateboard, and I just go for it. I start drawing as fast as I can, this penguin doing a wild trick on a skateboard, narrating what I'm doing the whole time like a sports commentator, going, and the penguin lands the kickflip. The crowd goes wild, which actually gets people laughing for real. Not the awkward silent carrot laughing, actual genuine laughing. By the time I finish the drawing, holding up this ridiculous skateboarder to the crowd, the whole gym actually claps like real applause, not the polite kind you give when you feel bad for someone. I even hear someone yell, "Do a chicken one." And honestly, at that point, the whole gym erupts. Because apparently word about the chicken club has spread further than I realized. I walk off stage feeling like I just ran a marathon, but a good marathon, if that makes sense. Marcus tackles me with a hug the second I get backstage, going, "See, I told you! You crushed it!" And even though I kind of want to strangle him for signing me up without asking, I have to admit, secretly, deep down, I'm actually really glad he did. Turns out I didn't win the actual talent show. That honor went to a 4th grader who did an absolutely insane gymnastics routine. But I got a Most Creative Act ribbon, which I am choosing to treat as basically the same thing as winning first place. My mom cried a little, in a good way this time, not a "please never mention the carrot incident again" way. So yeah, I went from being terrified of stages to actually kind of, maybe, possibly enjoying performing, as long as it doesn't involve saying, "I am a carrot," ever again in my life. Marcus signing me up without permission turned out to be one of the better things that's happened to me this year. Even though I will absolutely never tell him that directly. Next time, things get chaotic in a whole new way, because our class field trip is coming up. And let's just say staying together as a group is not exactly our class's strong suit. You do not want to miss what happens when half our class ends up somewhere they are definitely supposed to be. Subscribe so you catch it the second it drops, and let me know down in the comments what your worst stage fright moment been, because apparently I'm not the only one who's had a carrot-related trauma. See you in the next one.